Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Washington Times Media Spotlight. I'm Steve Malzberg. And, last Saturday's attempted assassination of Donald Trump, and I can't believe I'm saying those words. It's one of those events where everyone will remember where they were when they heard the news and what the coverage looked like. And I'm no exception. I was walking my dog. I got texts. I raced home. I held my breath as I turned on the TV, and I started watching the coverage. And for a while, it was covered right. It was treated as a breaking news event, a terrible breaking news event. But it turned political because that's what the media does. They push their agenda. And one of the agendas they were pushing was that there's political rhetoric in this country, and they made sure to note it's on both sides.
You have to cool the rhetoric on both sides.
We have to change.
Because it's really dangerous.
I've felt that same anger, too, from some of the rhetoric I've heard from the former president.
I think everybody agrees we need to cool things down.
Yeah, let's hope. Thank you, Congressman Wolf.
Clearly, the rhetoric on both sides has to calm down.
And it wasn't just CNN. I was turning the dial to all the mainstream media outlets and networks, and it was the same thing. Now, let's reverse it. God forbid Joe Biden had been shot. Do you think the media would have taken the time to point out that there's harmful political rhetoric on both sides? No. What they would do is they would take quotes from Donald Trump, quotes from Republicans, and blame the shooting on those quotes, even not knowing at the time who the shooter was or why the shooter shot. That's the way it works. I mean, it's the media that has been telling us for how long now? Every day, Donald Trump's going to end democracy. Donald Trump's going to lock up his enemies. Donald Trump is this. Donald Trump is Hitler. I mean, it goes on and on and on. So by the both sides issue being reinforced, I believe the media is trying to protect themselves. And it wasn't just both sides. Watch.
He is recovering from these injuries now. This was a traumatic event, no doubt, for him. But I did notice there was no call for lowering the temperature, condemning all political violence. That's
CBS's Margaret Brennan, host of Face the Nation, by the way, expressing her displeasure with the first social media posting posted by Donald Trump right after he was shot while he was still recovering. She didn't like that it didn't say this or it didn't say that. Are you kidding me? Again, can you picture her criticizing if it was Biden, a social media post from Biden? But the media loved Joe Biden's initial statement following the shooting, where he said, in part, political violence has no place in our society. Well, of course, who could disagree with that? But if we were really covering this issue fairly, why was this story ignored? On June 8th, 5 days before Trump was shot, Politico reported that Biden told a group of donors that he had one job. It was to beat Donald Trump. So he said, we're done talking about the debate. It's time to put Trump in a bullseye. Put Trump in a bullseye. That's exactly what the would-be assassin did to Donald Trump. Now, folks, again, let's reverse it. God forbid if it had been Biden who was shot and Donald Trump, who days earlier said, let's put Biden in a bullseye. Wow, they would be talking about that nonstop. But this story, which Politico put out, got virtually nothing. And that's not the only thing that's been hidden.
They asked me, would I like to debate this gentleman? And I said, no. I said, if we were in high school, I'd take him behind the gym and beat the hell out of him.
That was Joe Biden at the University of Miami in 2018. Ladies and gentlemen, Donald Trump was president of the United States then. And Biden said something very similar in 2016 when he was campaigning for Hillary Clinton, and he was the sitting vice president. Imagine, again, if Trump had said these things. Now, it's not just Joe Biden. Cory Booker, U.S. Senator from the state of New Jersey, in 2019, again, while Trump was president, was on the Seth Meyers show and said this.
Donald Trump is a guy who, you understand, he hurts you. And my testosterone sometimes makes me want to feel like punching him.
And there's Chuck Schumer in March of 2020, famously warning Supreme Court Justices Kavanaugh and Gorsuch that they won't know what hit them. 2 years later, a man was arrested for threatening to assassinate Kavanaugh. And in 2018, Congresswoman Maxine Waters encouraged supporters to harass Trump administration officials. Now, I'm not saying that any of these comments have led to any violence against anybody, but to pretend that Biden and Booker and Schumer and Waters didn't say these things, well, if we had real journalists in the mainstream media, I'd say that it was journalistic malpractice.
So has anyone out there heard of Project 2025?
Prior to last Saturday's assassination attempt, the media was trying to marry Donald Trump to Project 2025. Now, Joy Behar on The View last Thursday said that this document by the Heritage Foundation, it's a 900-page document and it's full of recommendations of what they'd like to see in a future Trump administration. Behar said that this document was a roadmap to the end of democracy. Kids would starve because they're going to take away their lunches in schools. Healthcare will be gutted. Abortion will be outlawed, blah, 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 blah. Now, that wasn't all that Joy Behar said. Watch this.
And this is part of their platform.
That is absolutely untrue. The Project 2025 document is not part of the GOP platform. And here's Jen Psaki of MSNBC on with Seth Meyers last Thursday night. And here's what she said about Project 2025.
But Project 2025, this is, the
Scary.
plan of what the Trump administration in its second time around wants to do. Have you ever seen anything like it? How outside the norm is this?
Way crazy, wackadoodle, insane, outside of the norm.
Lions and tigers and bears. Oh, my. But the truth is that Trump has gone out of his way to distance himself from Project 2025. And he's even criticized parts of the document. Look, think tanks are always putting out documents and recommendations, but you don't hear the media tying those left-wing think tank recommendations to the Biden administration. If they did, it probably wouldn't work out so well for Joe Biden. Here's Scott Jennings on CNN's Newsroom.
If the Democrats want to play this game, though, I think they should be prepared to own every single policy proposal ever issued by Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, the rest of the squad, Bernie Sanders, socialist organizations in America that support that group. If you want to play this game, then you're going to have to own everything, starting with defund the police.
Now, do you think the attempted assassination will end the attempts to link Trump and Project 2025? No way. And I don't think it's going to stop the media's attempt to protect Kamala Harris from criticism either. Donald Trump, for one, has dubbed her Laughing Kamala. And once again, we turn to our friend Joy Behar on The View for this expert analysis.
It's such a sexist remark because a guy I was with over the weekend, a friend of mine, they said Kamala's laugh annoys me. Remember they said that about Hillary's laugh, that she was cackling. And men, they don't like a funny woman. We're afraid if you laugh or you make a joke that maybe you'll do that when they're in bed with you.
It's sexist to talk about someone who laughs, and men who don't like the laugh are afraid that a woman is going to laugh at them in bed? What? What on earth? Where did she come up with this? And look, Kamala Harris laughs, and sometimes the laughs are inappropriate.
Visit the border? Not today.
People have mocked Kamala Harris's laughs for years, but on July 4th, Dana Bash on CNN couldn't figure out why Donald Trump would mention this in a campaign video.
Let me just give our viewers an example of part of an ad that they ran last week in anticipation of the debate.
And you know who's waiting behind him, right? Vote Joe Biden today and Kamala Harris tomorrow.
Now, the fact that she has a sense of humor, I'm not sure how that's a big negative, but, maybe they have data that I don't see that people aren't supposed to laugh.
I don't think anyone is saying that, and I think Dana Bash is smart enough to know that. Now, what would protection of Kamala Harris be from the media without the race card being played? Longtime Fox Business contributor Charles Gasparino wrote a piece claiming that Harris may soon be the first DEI president. Well, MSNBC's Joy Reid didn't like that one bit, and after questioning who Gasparino is, she added this.
And what qualifies you to write an editorial about the presidency, even in the dollar store New York Times, other than you being a white guy? Like, what are your qualifications besides that, Charles? Are you like a presidential historian or something? No? All right. You're just a discount rack, conservative, generic, racist, angry person.
White guy, conservative, racist, angry person? Really? Folks, you better not criticize Kamala or the media will come for you. And the question is, will the media stop this? Those who are claiming that there's divisive rhetoric on both sides, will they stop their divisive rhetoric? I say no way, but we'll keep an eye on it for you because that's what we do here at the Washington Times Media Spotlight. I'm Steve Malzberg. Thanks for watching. Please share the link. And until next time, stay safe.